Welcome to Speakeasily versus the 80s. Search no farther. Your quest for schlock is over. For we are the trash cast that fills your chalice with the 1980s classics you watched obsessively on cable as a kid. We think it's socially relevant and culturally important, or at least it's what made us all into the maladjusted freakazoids we are today. And that's important too. I'm Odessa Lil, beaming at you from the wilds of the internet, where the official Speakeasily space ark hovers in an undisclosed location somewhere above the central galaxy. Joining me in this trash fest, as always, are my comedy life partners, Mike Kodo and Podo, Klingon Vanna White, and Shecky Davis Jr. Hey, gang.
Greetings and salutations.
Sorry, I was trying to call my hawk.
Your hawk's not answering?
No, I can't get him on Wi-Fi.
Uncomfortable, long-ass pause.
What? It's funny, I think.
I was already like musing of like, is it further or farther? You said farther or further?
Search no farther. Is it further?
Farther? Is it further? I don't know, but I would expect it. I mean, I'm sure that there's somebody out there who will have an opinion about it and who will respond in our like friends, special friends area.
Yes.
I'm ready. I want to hear what they have to say.
We do have our friends in the Special Peoples group on Facebook, which you can join and, talk to us about toilets and stuff, which is pretty much what happens on there.
We like toilets.
Our tens of followers. So, yeah, what have you guys been up to?
After watching the movie, I've been planning my cosplay, but we can talk more about it later.
They called him Loincloth.
Yes.
This sounds good.
Swinging from the vines, Loincloth. Oh, he was so divine.
Yes, I'm excited. I have a lot of things to say about this movie because this movie was one of my favorite movies growing up, and I watched it a lot on HBO. Seriously, I watched it a lot.
Hey, Beastmaster's on HBO.
Yeah, and I loved it. It was so good. Oh my God, it was so good.
Okay, it's a good choice. It's a good choice. We're getting ahead of ourselves, but that's a great choice. Hey, Klingon, what's happening with you?
I don't know. I'm just at a pause right now. I was like, I am trying not to fail out of community college, and I've succeeded so far. And I'm just between semesters, I guess, right now because I paused it for a while because I thought I was going to go insane.
Yeah. And
then I decided that I should get us a clubhouse in Las Vegas and stuff like that. Yeah, not much going on. I mean, I'm just, doing my thing and trying not to fail out of community college and,
It sounds like you're juggling it pretty well.
You got this, though.
Yeah. Well, since you guys don't have a lot going on, I'm going to talk about our guest.
Okay.
They probably have a lot more going on than we do.
Hell yeah. Today's guest is a personal hero of mine turned friend.
Aw.
Yeah. Aww. I know. He's a podcaster, broadcaster, and a writer, and you might have seen him on Brad Meltzer's Decoded. Early in the game of podcasting, he hosted one called Out There Radio, which inspired me to get into podcasting. So you really have him to blame for all of this.
Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Welcome, Raymond Wiley.
Yay, welcome.
Hey, guys. Yeah, hey, good to be on. I never realized the amount of filth I would inspire into the world by creating a college radio show all those years ago.
Look what you have birthed.
Odessa Lil, she delivers. So
this is your fault, buddy.
Am I gonna have to take responsibility? Is that why you brought me on here? Or
well, someone has to.
Okay.
It's a ritual sacrifice. Get ready.
What did you guys think of my movie pick for the week?
Fantastic. You brought me back to my childhood. I loved it. Thank you.
Awesome. I'm really looking forward to this, and it's great to be back on the air. It's been I think about a year since I've done a guest spot, and I always love pontificating and bloviating on other people's shows because I don't have to edit it. It's great.
Yeah. So. Please be as windbaggy as you want. It's okay with me.
Nope, I'm going to be stiff as a board. You'll have to ask me questions as if I was like Picasso or something the whole time. So
He's going to be light as a feather, stiff as a board.
That's it. I was thinking more like Fairuza Balk when he said that, but whatever. So,
Like we're the weirdos.
yeah, he said light as a feather, stiff as a board. So.
Oh yeah. How far back does Out There Radio go as a podcast?
It goes back to the end of 2005, I would say, maybe 8 months after the iTunes store launched.
Whoa.
And I was working at a college radio station and had been working there a couple of years as a volunteer and had finally gotten a chance to do my own talk show with my friend Joe McFall. And right at that time, podcasting just started to become a thing, and we had some pretty tech savvy people working at the station, and they suggested, oh, well, you guys are having pretty good luck with the show. You've been able to get it syndicated on a couple of other stations, small stations, really. But and they were like, oh, we should try to podcast. And that was just right in the first year of podcasting. And within just a couple of weeks, we found that we had a bigger audience podcasting, surely, than we did listening over the FM airwaves. So
wow.
That was a lot of fun. And we didn't get paid or anything for it. And, but we became sort of C-list early internet people.
You're a pioneer.
That's it. It's like the guy that opened up for the Big Bopper or whatever, but he didn't get on the plane. So no one ever knew who he was.
You're so close to being, Joe Rogan or something.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks,
wow.
Alyssa. Thanks for that. Really, really appreciate it.
That's
God, that guy's a douchebag. I'm just gonna say it.
He's
he's such a dick. He's like, I can't believe he won't get vaccinated.
Oh my God.
Tell me about it. I look at people like him and Alex Jones, and I think you're right. I think but by the grace of God, go I. So, or maybe just they have more talent, and that's how they got a bigger audience. I don't know.
Maybe they did get vaccinated, and they're just like trying to be like their thing to hold on to fame is to play on the edges of like this. I don't know, these crazy people that just hate other people, that don't care about other people, don't want to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Ultimately,
I'm not being very eloquent.
No, he's kind of like Rip Torn in this movie. People are just scared.
Evil.
The people are just scared, and they have overwhelming number of just assholes that follow them. So
total power is what.
Yeah, I think that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Sad times.
It is.
It's quite annoying.
Yeah.
It's quite annoying.
It is. And sort of makes it tough on everybody. And I think the tough thing for these people is that for you to like work with other people in society, like most of the time requires that you're not the one that like authors and like controls everything that happens in society, and that they just have a real tough time with not constantly being recognized as the smartest monkey in the room, and that really. And what does it turn into? Griefers. You guys know what griefers are. I'm sure. So that's it. You people start griefing society like they do online games. So anyway, that has nothing to do with the Beastmaster.
Oh,
that's everything to do with the Beastmaster.
You think you're off the hook? I got more questions for you, man.
Oh God.
Well, I gotta say though, the Beastmaster is the best movie that we've ever watched on this.
Heyo, there you go.
What?
Speakeasily bingo.
I agree. Okay,
better than moving violations.
I was Indra, I was thinking that. I'm sorry, Vanna. I was thinking that today. I was like, this is the best B movie that I have ever seen.
Oh, I thought you were saying this is the best movie I've made them watch. I was like, awesome. He's like, I have elevated these people.
No. I was pissed off that somebody else got to Season of the Witch.
Oh,
first.
yeah.
That was a good one.
Yeah, Halloween 3 is, I think, the best movie we've ever done. Honestly.
I mean, if you're a druid, I can see, but
it's brilliant. But hey, actually, that reminds me, because there's like Stonehenge and that, but Raymond.
By the way, Stonehenge.
Well, Raymond wrote a really interesting book about the Georgia Guidestones, which maybe you could explain to us what that is.
You want me to tell you what that is?
Yeah.
Well,
not me, but the audience.
Odessa, why would anybody buy the book if I tell them what that is.
Tell us adjacently what it's about, so that we will be like totally like, oh, I want to buy 6 of these and give them to all my relatives for Christmas.
Yes.
Be vague.
You should get the Klingon Pulitzer Prize for that question. That's like the best, because like everybody wants you to spoil it, right? Spoil the book. Okay, so the Georgia Guidestones is a sort of like roadside attraction, Charles Kuralt weirdo relic of the late 1970s in East Georgia, in a town called near a town called Elberton. And it was built by a mysterious guy that came into town and commissioned a giant Stonehenge-like granite monument. And on the monument is inscribed in all different languages the sort of like 10 guidelines. Guides, that's why they're called Guidestones, right? Because they're sort of like guidelines, right? It's sort of like the 10 Commandments, but less pushy, is sort of the idea.
Right.
So, and it's
less
all sort of,
yeah,
exactly. It's a little less thou shalt kind of stuff. And it's, and the stuff is sort of very like, sort of like late 70s Earth Day, you know, anti-nuclear kind of vibe.
Bunch of hippie
you know
shit.
What I mean, bunch of
Sounds
like
groovy.
hippie shit. Like if it like filtered through like a Greatest Generation or Silent Generation brain, because the guy was maybe a little older.
Yeah.
And he said his name was R.C. Christian.
Oh boy.
But that was a pseudonym, and because. I mean, it's a pseudonym. It's a pseudonym because it's misspelled on the monument. It's a pseudonym, but it's misspelled at the end. So that tells you what kind of monument you're looking at here. It's about 17 feet tall. It drives Alex Jones types crazy. And like local evangelical preachers think it's Satan.
Oh, shit.
And the local yokels all have weird reactions to it. And
How
really,
do I send them money?
Exactly. The county keeps it up as sort of like a roadside attraction.
Sweet.
And yeah, so, and over the years it's been vandalized and maligned in many different ways. And so that's the Georgia Guidestones. And you can find out all the details about it in mine and Katie's book, because I had a co-author, KT Prime. She actually wrote most of the text of the book, just to be clear. And I gathered the sources, did all the interviews, schmoozed the book deal out of my boss. I mean, you know, that kind of
nice.
stuff.
Who was your boss at the time?
My boss was the president of, or the CEO. I don't remember what his title was, but the head honcho at the Disinformation Company.
Yeah.
Which is where I worked at the time.
Oh, okay.
Yes, that was fun. So actually, me and my family were at Barnes and Noble today. And
they're still out there?
Just to see if it was still, yeah, exactly. To see if it still existed. And we looked around, and the New Age section is now called the Personal Development.
Oh, wow.
Section.
No.
Yes. So it's same old books, though. And so it was cool, like remembering my time at Disinfo earlier today, as I looked on the shelf, and it was like, oh, I worked on that book. Oh, I worked on that book. Just a couple of them, you know.
Yeah.
I did not find the Guidestones book, unfortunately. I'm not sure I'm not sure you're going to find it on most shelves anymore after 10 years. So.
Oh, that was 10 years ago. Okay.
It was 10 years ago, yeah.
Feels like yesterday. Well, you know, it's interesting that a cult pretty much is personal development once you think about it. Or if you...
It always starts like that, and it always ends with poison, a Dixie cup full of poison.
Isn't that something someone from a cult would say?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It sounds like something like the Scientology guy would say, trying to get you like in off the street to take a
personality test.
A personality test, yeah. No, you got to sell the occult as sex, drugs, and rock and roll. That's the way to look at it.
That's why I got involved.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Well, Raymond, what are your current projects? Do you have anything going on right now?
Are you baiting me?
Yeah. This is
are you baiting me right now?
Kind
like
of journalist
you didn't tell me that
I
I would have to do this. Oh God. Okay. So, yes, me and Odessa here are starting a podcast series.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been really afraid because I'm like Vanna's gonna like bite me, but not in the sort of I'm trying to come on to you, bite you on the face
No.
kind of bite.
I see.
I'm gonna rip your throat out.
Like that movie where the guy chews the tongue out of his face, out of the face of his jailer.
Was that $1 Million Baby?
No, it was like midnight.
I can't believe I didn't get a laugh.
$1 Million Baby.
Isn't that about a horse?
Isn't that about a horse?
It's about a boxer, right?
No.
Do you think she looks like a horse?
I'll sexy bite you if I ever see you for stealing a duster from us.
For stealing. Well, look, there's plenty of time in the week for y'all to record, for us to record, and
there's plenty of me to go around.
I'm not making her edit anything yet. So she'll have plenty of time.
Oh, that's fine.
Yeah, I'm not trying to.
We're totally fine with her.
Yeah, we don't.
Like,
she doesn't get paid for this.
They don't give a shit where I am.
I love how the way we're introducing the audience to the series is me apologizing for having done it.
Yeah.
No, it's totally fine.
We're sorry.
Like,
the apology tour.
Yeah.
It starts with an apology tour, ends in tears.
Odessa, you thought of the name. We finally came up with a title for this just this week. What's it called?
It's called Retrophilia. It's cool. It's about the 90s, and we discussed like edgelords and history of goth and like what the hell is grunge anyway, and I don't know. And Raymond will like do weird stunts and stuff. It's great. He's going to time travel. He's actually going to time travel to the 90s.
Does retrophilia have a hyphen? That I meant to ask you.
No, it's one word.
It's just one word. I love it. It sounds like
is it spelled with an F?
Oh, PH.
Or is it a PH?
It's a PH.
Like, because you guys are...
like a necrophiliac.
It's like necrophilia, exactly.
Yeah, but retro.
So, yeah. Oh, retrophilia. Yeah. Like necrophilia, people.
Yeah, I wanted to do retrosexual, but I think that's a little too racy.
Retrosexual sounds hot, though.
I'll stop shaving now.
You know, I'm going to change the topic here.
Why? This all goes back into Beastmaster.
So interesting. Yeah.
So today we're diving face first into 1982's Don Coscarelli's film, The Beastmaster, which you probably picked up already. This sword and sorcery celebration has everything you need in a movie. Dudes in ominous robes, ferrets, equal opportunity nudity, and hot mutant witches. I mean, it's Conan meets Tarzan meets an all-Chippendales production of Wizard of Oz.
What?
And Wizard of Wizards.
Wizards.
Wizard.
Best B movie I've ever seen.
Okay. Tell us,
without a doubt,
why did you choose this as your very special movie?
Because they would run it all the time on the Superstation, TBS, when I was a little kid.
Yeah.
And
TBS, the Beastmaster station.
The Beastmaster, exactly. And it would just, at 8:05, or whatever, because it's always 05 or 35 of the hour when a TBS show starts for some reason.
Why? I thought you Southerners are crazy or something.
Wow.
Why do your clocks work that way?
I think it might be like if they changed the station during the first commercial break on the other network, they would catch the very beginning of the intro of the show on TBS. Maybe. I mean, is this Ted? I'm trying to think of what would Ted Turner's logic be.
Yeah.
30 years ago, 40 years ago. So I don't know. I mean, I'm just taking a shot in the dark.
Hey, Jane Fonda, what do you think we should do with this? 5 seconds. 5 minutes.
Good.
Yeah.
That was good, Shecky.
I try.
Yeah. Hard.
And she's like, I'm too busy. I'm on Golden Pond. Leave me alone. So I just saw it over and over again as a kid. I had not seen it. I've seen it maybe once since. So watching it this morning was just a huge delight. And it was it has a lot of flaws, but it was a way better movie than I expected it to be. I feel like we're really classing it up around here this week. So.
Says you.
I'm not talking about the guest. I'm just talking about Mark Singer. All right?
Wow.
Oh,
he's pretty groovy.
He's classy. Okay.
There's a little loincloth going on there.
So you saw this as a kid, and what was your impression of like masculinity then? Like when you watched this movie, did you feel like that was like a true man?
Oh no, I'm watching this completely pre-sexual.
Okay.
Pre-puberty. So like it would not have occurred to me that Mark Singer and John Amos were like looked like Zardoz, or that or that like Kiri was sort of eye candy, or any of that. None of that would have occurred to me.
Really?
Same thing with professional wrestling. I mean, it just
really
sailed right over. Yeah, you're
not
so
me.
young.
Not me. I was like, whoa.
He was I was a bit of a late bloomer. So
I was like, yes.
Yes, I love this. Now, I didn't know there was nudity in this movie until today.
PG titties. I love it.
I didn't know it's an R. I bet this movie's got to be an R.
No, it's PG.
No way.
It's PG. It is PG titties all the way.
Oh my God, I'm gonna cross out my note. I have a note here. This movie suffers from its R rating. It should have been toned down and made PG, and it was PG. Okay, thank you.
It's PG. That's what's so weird about it, because we're sitting there watching it, and Paul's all, is this PG? And I looked it up, and I was like, oh my God, it is, because we saw titties, and we're like, wait a minute.
Things were different then.
They really were. I mean, Barbarella was PG as well, and that had straight titties in it too. So they just thought things were different back then, I guess. I don't know.
I like how they just get it out of the way right off the bat. They're like, okay, we'll just get this out of the way, and we're going to see if she can act for the rest of the film.
It might have been a requirement. It could be a requirement of the production company, because that would sometimes happen. They'd be like, okay, we'll give you this much money, but you need to have 4 breasts, 3 fight scenes. No, honestly. So maybe
I know it was like 4 individual breasts.
Yeah. Right. So ergo,
2.
That makes sense, actually, because like the blonde girl that's her friend, the slave girl, is like sitting in the background, just sort of topless for a second there, and you never see her again.
Yeah.
In the movie.
Nope. No. I think you see her. Right. I think you see her one more time when
on the boat.
When they're getting on the boat, and I was like, okay, sure, she's back, and we're like, yay!
And then they disappear again. Then they completely disappear at the end of this. Did you notice that?
Yeah, like where are the other women? They just let them go. They're like free. They just let them go. I was like,
they got killed in the first round of the fight off screen.
Oh, maybe. I don't know. But can we check out those, like right at the beginning with the, like the whole movie starts off with that weird ass prophecy. And then you see like Rip Torn, who is just amazing in this movie. I love him so much. Seriously, he was like been a crush for a long time. He's dead now, but it sucks.
Wow.
So I was like, oh my God. And then you see the chicks all like doing that weird Macbeth thing. And I'm like, oh, total faces. And I'm like, whatever, their bodies are hot. Get a paper bag. Let's do this,
Okay. So, yeah.
He said butterface.
Totally.
Yeah. So I'm sitting there watching it, and I'm texting Odessa. I'm like, what's up with the butterface witches? And she just laughed. And I was like,
it's exactly what I thought when I saw them. I was just like, but I'm not sexist.
Well, I'm not sexist either, but I was like, what's going on with the ladies?
I know
like, why?
One of them is straight up straddling the cauldron.
Yes. I'm like, why?
Yeah, I think the witches, like their faces age, but their bodies don't. I don't know. I just kind of made up a backstory.
That's hot.
Yeah, and
I want to do that.
Everything evil they do maybe appears on their face, kind of like.
How does the witch sneak a cow
into
the king's chamber?
Okay.
God.
At the first scene of the movie, just right off the bat.
Totally, 100%. I'm like, there's a cow in your room.
Into the castle, into the bedroom.
Like there's a cow in your room. What are you gonna do with that? Nothing? Okay. So you prophesize that this son is gonna kill you. It's very, what is it? I guess it's kind of, what is it, Oedipus, where the son is gonna kill the guy, but it's not totally that, because he's not gonna kill his own father.
It's like Beefcake Oedipus.
Well, no, it's that he's gonna kill Rip Torn.
Yeah, I know.
Kill his dad.
Yeah, but it's this weird kind of like Greek tragedy kind of thing. So like for me, that kind of spiced it up. It's like, oh, we're dealing with Greek tragedy. This is going to be really good. This is you're going to take this seriously because it's Greek. And then, but no, and then you're like, okay, you send your assassin or the woman what's the thing with the putting the baby in the cow?
Okay.
Like, why did they need to do that? Like,
Right. I've got a theory on this.
Ordeal.
Stop me if you guys have something to say on this, but like they've got to remember, because it's like this like weird Aztec religious ritual or whatever. You know what I mean? It's this weird like blood ritual where they've got to like brand the kid's tiny little palm
Kid hand.
with a tiny little religious symbol, right? First, and then give him the staff.
Yeah, some kind of sigil, you know?
So, yeah. So I think it was like we need to sneak the cow. I mean, think about the logic of this. We're going to sneak the cow into the king's bedchamber so we can steal the baby, so we can brand the baby and then kill the baby for our Rip Torn's ritual.
There seems to be a lot easier ways to do this, but I think so. One of my things was because he was transferred into an animal. That's what gives him his Beastmaster power.
Absolutely,
Gotta be.
So that's what I thought. I'm thinking, okay, that's why he's the Beastmaster. But if you noticed, the cow's eyes were red while it was happening. I was like, damn, that is a demonic cow.
Evil cow.
Do not eat hamburgers from that cow.
Don't drink the milk.
Mm-mm.
Don't drink the milk.
Such a pretty cow.
Do not drink the milk. You will die.
Okay.
The effect was good with that. The stealing the baby from the stomach effect.
Yeah.
And then the using the what looked like glow stick liquid.
It was.
Yeah.
I actually looked it up.
On them, and that I remember as a kid that being just really creepy to me. There are a couple of scenes in this that were super gross and super creepy to me as a kid.
Yeah.
And the movie just starts off with it. Like immediately you have a high priest, you got guys in like robes, right? So the high priest, Max. That's Rip Torn.
Max.
And, so he's given the prophecy by the witches and that the baby of the king is going to kill him eventually, which is like such a trope. I think that's come up over and over since Greek tragedy. Like it never gets old. And you know what? You can't escape fate either. That's always the part of the trope, right?
You cannot escape fate. Nope.
Yeah. So
sorry.
Like almost like your attempts to escape fate is what brings it to pass.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the funny thing about fate. It's like, gotcha, bitch. And they're like, no, damn it.
Yeah, like he seems like Mayax was really getting a little arrogant there. Like, I mean, he's already got the king. The king's like letting him hang out in the pyramid and do all this. There's like skulls on the wall everywhere. Like you think,
it's crazy.
Did you notice that the king is Sigmund Freud from Bill and Ted?
No.
The king is Sigmund Freud. Yes, he's also the guy at the very beginning of The Thing. John Carpenter's The Thing.
Wow.
That,
really?
The guy that like slips when he's throwing the hand grenade.
No, I did not know
Norwegian
that.
guy. It's the same guy that's trying to shoot the dog at the beginning. So, yeah. So that guy, he always got cool parts.
I didn't even know that. I did because like when you look at his IMDb page, it shows him in his Bill and Ted's look. So I didn't even get the two. I was just like, what?
We're talking about Rod Loomis.
I think that's his name,
Yeah, it's cool. I mean, like some character actors, they just show up everywhere. And you realize they're working hard constantly.
They really are.
So when the baby's about to be killed, he's actually saved by a villager who kills the witch.
I feel sorry for all the men in this movie who aren't buff.
Yeah.
Because all the guys have to wear everything's hanging out. It doesn't matter. Like the 12-year-old kid, half naked. The old man with the gut, half naked. Like everybody's, and that's that equal opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
Earlier.
Yeah, and that brings up like what I know it's fantasy, but like, is this the Bronze Age?
No.
Yeah.
Or is this? But there's an Aztec temple, but it's probably Europe. What's going on here?
California.
I guess the director put it in that time just because. I guess I don't know. Because I guess in the original novels, the original person was like
a space Navajo.
No, yeah, he was like a Native American villain. So
yeah, the book is the movie's based on a 1959 book by Andre Norton, who requested that her name be left out of this project.
Yeah. She was like, no, thank you.
What you mean this episode or?
Yeah, she's like, we can't talk about it.
Totally.
Like, if you do, my ghost will come and haunt you.
I mean, there's obviously like a lot of parallels between like that. There's that book, and then there's like the Conan books by Robert Howard. And
Robert Howard,
yeah, and then Conan was made the same year. So,
I have a lot to say about that.
Yeah, and I guess this guy was offered Dino De Laurentiis really liked this movie and gave him the chance to direct Conan, and he was like, no, thank you. He thought the script sucked.
Yeah, Casarelli. He decided to do this because he wrote this.
I don't blame him. Yeah. Like, hey, do your own shit.
That's cool. There's so much to unpack with this. Let's start with everybody's naked. Let's start with the interesting
everybody's
stuff that
naked.
Is relevant to this show.
It always goes back to
everybody's naked.
Have
been so cold.
Yes, yes, they were.
The other thing is like clear influence. Two names just come roaring into my mind. Frank Frazetta.
Oh yeah.
And Boris Vallejo.
Yeah.
That's what this movie is. It's like that. Is you want to put that? That's popular with teenage boys. Let's put that on the screen.
Yeah, the main villain of the Jun Horde looks straight out of Frazetta. Like, he looks like the Death Dealer almost. So it's kind of interesting with those cool little bat wing things on his helmet and everything.
This movie would have been a gigantic hit if it did not come out 6 months after Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
Like if they had done this movie 1 year earlier.
Oh, totally. Because it really just comes off as like, oh, look, it's a Conan ripoff. But it's not.
It's so close. The plot is so close.
Yeah.
The first thing I do want to point out before I forget, the title credits are the exact same type, the same font as Ralph Bakshi, Lord of the Rings. So I feel like maybe there's a little influence there of the direct. Well, I guess Dino De Laurentiis didn't he do Lord of the Rings? Ralph Bakshi, wasn't he part of that? So
that's a good question. I don't know.
I know maybe it's just Saul's Ants, but this is so close in the plot as well to Conan the Barbarian.
Yeah.
Town gets attacked by the bad guys. There's a weird religious cult. The whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think it comes down to a couple of things. One, who went first?
Mm-hmm.
Two, Arnold Schwarzenegger is just a little bit more charming than Mark Singer.
Really? I think
so.
Mark Singer is very charming. He smiles a lot. He's really cute. But I thought that Conan was kind of, because he was portraying more of a kind of toxic masculinity kind of thing. He's aggressive. He's kind of like aggressive. He doesn't have a lot of lines. He doesn't smile a lot. And Mark Singer, like, he's just like grinning and just happy. He cries at one point.
I love his sort of 70s looks.
He's
like
cute.
He looks like this is what like a hot guy looked like in the late 70s, early 80s. It's kind of. I also like how he doesn't look all roided out.
That's true too.
He's not.
Yeah, it's natural.
Not, And I really like that.
That was something that was hilarious. Paul looks over at me and he's like, I wonder what the oil budget on this movie was, or something like that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I was like, what are you talking about? And he was just like, no, like to keep him all glistening and stuff. And I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, if you're that muscular, you got to be lubed up all the time. A lot of people don't know that.
Otherwise, you start creaking like a leather jacket.
That's right. Did anyone notice that, like, the first time we see grown-up Dar, that first like shot of him, he looks exactly like Luke Skywalker.
I hadn't even seen it.
Same haircut too.
Yeah.
And they're both named Mark.
That's right.
Maybe like Dino De Laurentiis thought that was Mark Hamill. Oh yeah, Mark Hamill's been lifting some weights.
We could do this, yeah.
Hire that guy.
Yeah.
That's Star Wars money.
I don't know if Mark Singer was the first choice or not, but Kiri.
Okay.
Kiri was supposed to be, I'd say Corcella.
Tanya Roberts.
Yeah, she's Tanya Roberts. I think she's great. She's a late season angel.
Okay.
And
was she a playmate?
Yeah, oh god,
probably too.
They got her.
Was she a playmate?
They got her to pose naked for Playboy to promote this movie.
Wow.
Yeah. But
does that count towards the like you have to have 6 boobs? Like if 2 of them are in Playboy?
you know what? I'm going to finish this thought. So the director wanted Demi Moore for Kiri.
18 years old.
Yeah.
They ended up with Tanya Roberts.
Which is fine. It got her View to a Kill, so hey.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Oh, wow.
I did not. That
yeah.
never occurred to me. That's really cool.
I was looking her up for this too, and I never realized that she wore like those electric blue contacts. I thought those were always her real eye color.
Wait a minute, those were contacts?
That's what I read.
Huh.
I'm not surprised, but wow, like I totally thought that was her.
Sorry.
Okay, so the High Priest Max was, was supposed to be played. Max, it's like double A. He was supposed to be played by Klaus Kinski. That was their first choice.
Yeah,
that would have been so cool.
I looked him up and I was like, I have no idea who this person is. And then I looked.
Klaus Kinski?
Yeah,
Klaus Kinski is a legend.
He's like serious.
He's a legend.
Yeah, and I looked him up and I was like, wow, okay.
This would be a very different movie if they could have afforded him.
It got trashed over money dispute with Klaus Kinski. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was probably like, if you want me to do this, I need to be paid X amount. And they're like, but we can't pay you X amount. I want to be paid X amount to do this. I've read the script. I don't know. I just kind of feel like he's just so, I don't know.
He was a difficult person to begin with. And if he were in this movie, he would be chewing the scenery up in all those Max scenes. But they went with Rip Torn. Rip Torn's pretty cool.
No, and you could tell that there were the good things about the performance with Rip Torn are his choices. And then when he's got to ham it up real bad, you can tell that that'd be the director.
Probably.
What he did with his nose. That was his choice.
That's not his nose, right?
I didn't know if that was his nose or not.
That's a prosthetic, I guess.
Yeah, no, that hook that was his choice to wear that.
Okay, because I was like, that is not his nose. I was like, no, that cannot be his nose.
I love how confidently he threw babies into the fire too.
Oh man, they were just going for that. Like, and you could tell they had coached the kid. Like, okay, he's gonna hold you up, and then he starts screaming bloody murder and kicking when he lifts you up.
Yeah,
like you could tell it was just things you would never do with child actors.
One thing that I realized is it's so easy to make an evil god name. All you have to take your normal name and remove the first syllable, and then you have your demonic god name.
So you're Mond?
So it'd be Dessa. Ah!
Oh, God.
That's an evil one. I like it.
Dessa.
G.I. Joe villain.
Craver of children.
Well, would mine just be white?
No, it would be. It'd be nah. So these are the things that I thought of all night last night after I watched the movie. I'm like, wow, like it brought back so many fun childhood memories.
I had that just constantly this morning. Just had a smile on my face the whole time watching this film. But oh man, I was getting a lot of anxiety when it gets to the scene where like the bird people.
Oh, those things are awful.
Scary.
It's so gross. Like they're bird people, but they like consume you with some weird acid or enzyme like an insect would.
Love those guys.
Oh God.
Yeah, like a fly-eating plant or whatever.
And it's like, why would you, strike up a bargain with an alien life form that, uses you as food?
But would they make a bargain? They just respect him.
Yeah.
They think.
Yeah, they just like the bird. They're like, black bird, let's do it.
You're a bird person. Okay, cool.
Did they paint the bird?
No, I don't know. They painted the tiger.
But it looked like they painted the bird too.
No, the bird was he's just an eagle.
Yeah.
Like he's just
a regular bird.
They got the best shot out of that bird when he'd be sitting on something in the different scenes. Always when he came to tell the guy the news or whatever. They say this stuff is just really hard to do.
Like all of this stuff of the bird flying, they couldn't get the bird to fly on command, so that they would drop it out of a hot air balloon.
Yeah. They had to rent a hot air balloon to do this.
Yeah, they're like, okay, we need to get the bird flying. Drop it.
We're just gonna take it up there and then just drop it out.
Did you notice when they like composited the moon
over? Yes, yes.
That was beautiful.
Yes.
You're so kind.
Yeah, in a 70s, early 80s kind of way.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just like, is this our ET moment? It's like, okay.
How about the model? How about the model of the city?
Like all of the hanging men were really kind of cool.
They did a nice job on them. I mean, if you're going to decorate your city with bodies.
If that's what R wants, that's what R gets.
Is that when the Juns or the Junes come and attack his
the Jun?
Yeah, the barbarians. They come and like burn and pillage his village.
No, that's way
later. Okay,
that's way later. Yeah,
because in that one
we're jumping around.
Okay,
we're jumping all
I'm
around.
like, hey, where are we?
It's really well written. There's some major faults with this film. I'm sure. I mean, I sound like I'm trying to take it seriously, you know, to give a good review on this. But like the fight scenes,
don't bother,
are really weak in this scene. All the fights.
Oh yeah.
If you had watched Conan the Barbarian earlier that year, this would have felt like a B movie for sure when you were watching the fights.
Yeah, when he was like, every time he like swung around the sword and stuff, I'm like, you're not really doing anything, buddy.
Yeah, there was a lot, and anytime there would be a sound effect of the swords clanking together, it sounded so bad. That doesn't sound like there's any weight.
Oh God, Raymond, I looked up that sword, and you can buy it for $3,000, a replica.
Wow,
that is one of the coolest hero swords in movie history. It's got to be.
It is pretty cool.
The original went missing.
Oh no!
Yeah, a lot of stuff from this movie went missing. Actually,
the original negative went missing too. They had stored the original negative in a house, and then when the house got sold, they didn't remove it, and it got sold with the original negative of this movie.
Yeah, It could be in the garbage. It could be anywhere. A basement,
probably in the garbage.
Yeah,
I found it at a Goodwill in Pismo.
Here's another problem, as I perceived it to be a problem. So when he discovers the two women, and then he's like, kind of forcing himself on Curie. He's just like, like kiss monster right in her face, and then, man, that no means no.
Oh, come on! It was the time.
Those were prehistoric times. I'm not going to make that argument because I want to point out that like he still strikes out.
Yeah.
Like even after all of that, and then it turns out that she's his cousin.
Wow.
So not birth cousin.
And it never specifies. Now I feel like this is going to be the meat of the episode right here. This topic.
So he's the son, and I guess the other kid is also a son of the dad. And then the little kid says that Kira's his cousin. So they're both brothers.
No, they're half brothers.
They are half brothers, but it doesn't matter. Keep going, Fana. Keep going.
Oh crap! Well, I don't know. I lost my train of thought because I never went that deep.
No, because you never know if he's a cousin on his uncle's son or his mother's, the second wife's son.
That's exactly right. So
because if he's the second wife's son, they're not related.
That's it. So the king could have had brothers and sisters, right? And they had kids, and that would be the Beastmaster, Mark Singer's first cousin. So in that scenario, Kiri is the first cousin.
Then they can't do it because they'd have weird alien three-headed.
Like you said, Shecky, the times.
Keep the wealth in the family.
Exactly. That's why they call it the family.
Keep the wealth in the family.
I don't care how close your baby's eyes are together.
That's it. This is genetic richness. This is diversity. Okay, so the other side of this could be like Shecky was saying, like, okay, the wife dies in the first scene. The king, he's the king, so he can get remarried, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
And so he got remarried, and that's where Mark Singer's little half-brother comes from.
Mm-hmm.
Kiri's the cousin to the half-brother. Maybe they're not related at all. But it
Correct.
never, like, explains that.
Yeah.
And it seems like it's just hanging there the whole time.
I think you're supposed to make that. I think you're supposed to just make that assumption. It's like, of course they're not related.
Well, I don't know because like Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi were coming out right at this time. So,
well, I do believe that. What's his
Family
name?
romance.
Kidney. What?
Family romance. You know, like how
like Kathleen Kennedy says, it's a story about family. That's
like,
no, you guys are being gross.
You know, like how Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia are brother and sister, and like they set that up at the first movie that they're like a romantic couple, and then what the fuck?
I think he honestly wrote himself into a corner by that. I honestly believe this man had no idea what he was doing, and then he thought, "Hey, it'd be really cooler if they were brother and sister," and then ran with that. I really believe that.
Or maybe it was that the shock was because that's all people talk about with Empire Strikes Back is, oh, the big reveal, their family, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Maybe it was a thing where they're like, oh, can we do that again? Yeah, let's do that again.
Can we build on that enthusiasm?
Right. There's some bucks in that.
They're progressive in the future. Come on.
That's it. So I took it. Honestly, I've been giving you a hard time, Shecky, but I honestly agree with you, and here's why. Because at the end of the movie, because after that reveal, they never kiss or like make out again until or do they? No, they don't.
At the end.
And that's what I was saying. At the end. So I feel like that's the reveal, and it's like, okay, it was just by marriage. That was when they made out at the end. It's like, okay, the question is answered. It was just by marriage. They're not they're not cousins. They're not first cousins. Because why would she have gone? You know, she's a playmate. Why she got to get with her first cousin? You know, it's like, was this Jerry Lee Lewis?
I think these, you know, in this fantasy world, these things don't matter as much. As they would say
in the world of Hawk,
I would hope that they did.
In a world of Hawk people that will dissolve you with enzymes and acids.
Are they Hawk people? They don't have feathers.
They look like bats.
They're like bats, I think. But no, they're birds.
They were like
bat people.
The weirdest, grossest thing ever.
I love them. I thought they were so cool.
The shot when it cuts down to his feet and the goo.
Yeah.
Poor guy's feet.
But
and
it was so cool.
Whoever cast that part was perfect. Just like the casting of the guy that gets his heart ripped out in Temple of Doom. Like they find this, the casting director is like, we need to find the guy that looks like a victim. Scared animal. Which one of these 100 guys looks the most like a scared animal?
Yeah.
Okay, cast him. He's got those big doughy eyes. He looks like Bambi's mom. Get him in here.
It was a good scream.
That's it.
Well, those dissolving bats, they kind of save the day a little bit later. They come and
they're like the eagles in Lord of the Rings, except gross. At the end.
Gross. You're so gross.
I'm sorry, that was hilarious. You're like, they're amazing, yet super gross.
So gross.
They're like one of the only like completely mythological creatures in this thing. Like it's all like normal earth animals, except for the witches. They're just weird.
They're weird.
And then you got these like weird digestive raptors.
The S&M Death Guards.
Yes, those guys were cool. Oh my god! Like I swear to God, I met a couple of those guys at like some BDSM bars in San Francisco. Like I know those guys.
Folsom Street Fair.
You just stay away from their shins. You'll be all right.
and their forearms.
Their forearms. I love how Mark Singer has a sword, and they just have like stuff on their forearms, and he's like, "Nope, I'm getting out of here." And I love how it takes the time to like have the little kid brother set up what they are.
Yep.
For just this one little part of the movie, we're going to set up that these guys are, you know, and then you get a little torture porn in there for a minute.
Like, were they death guards?
The Death Guards.
Death Guards.
Yeah, we get to see a gummy worm covered in glow stick stuff and more glow stick stuff and.
Was so gross when I was a kid. It was terrifying. It was just like with the Hawks. It was just
really. Like, oh no, I thought it was so cool. I was like, yeah, yeah.
I mean, I liked it, but it was disgusting. But yeah,
I thought it was cool.
And it was cute this time because like it sets up a adversary for the ferrets. Not even really for the Beastmaster. Like it's the ferrets versus the S&M Death Guards.
Oh yeah, those little guys running as fast as possible away from this like. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, it injected a little bit of comedy into it because it's not super scary because it's like they're chasing after them and you're like, yeah, and then
I think
you can run away.
The ferrets are the smartest entities in this movie.
Definitely smarter than the fight choreographer. 1,000,000%.
Well, I just love how Dar puts together his like animal posse. That's kind of my favorite. Is like
that sequence of scenes.
Yeah,
there are all these little vignettes. I liked that too.
And
oh my god, the part where they almost drown the ferret.
Aw,
yeah, that was kind of weird.
Oh, my stomach. Like, they let the ferret be completely submerged for a second for the movie. Ooh.
Like, how many times did they shoot that? They're just going to let this ferret just like slowly sink while it's like panicking.
There's this one part where he ties a ferret to the eagle. Remember that part?
That was awesome. That was like next level Beastmastering right there.
How did that eagle not eat that ferret?
I know. Right. His little
They're
gang.
friends.
Yeah.
They're friends.
Oh my God. At one point,
You're not friends.
Dar says, "My friends," and he sounds like Mickey Rourke and Barfly.
I didn't even think of that.
My friends.
What if it had been Mark Singer in The Wrestler instead of Mickey Rourke?
He wouldn't have looked like that at that time.
No, I think Mark Singer's got to look like just like a normal guy.
Yeah. Well, and ultimately an animal saves the day. The ferret attacks the guy. Like he gives up his life.
Max.
Yeah.
Max. Yeah, he jumps on it. He sacrifices himself for the family and for Dar.
So that prophecy was wrong.
Oh.
It should have been like, that would be the beginning of the movie, which is like, a ferret will kill you.
100%, right?
And Max would be like, death to all ferrets.
My mind is blown right now. You're right.
The ferret is the one that killed him. So the prophecy was a lie.
Yeah, it's just like he just happened to be ferret adjacent. He wasn't responsible for the murder.
Exactly.
He brought the ferret.
Those ferrets have like their teeth. Like how do they do all the things because they chomp through a limb.
Yeah.
They chomp through the back of Rip Torn's neck in like a second, and the rope to get out of the city for the gate of the city.
That was a thick rope.
Yeah.
I guess he chops it. He chops it.
Yeah, the guy chops it.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they tried.
Yeah.
They're so Kodo and Podo, and they're the stars of the movie. Did anybody tear up a little bit?
Of course.
I did.
Kodo.
I knew what was happening, so I didn't think it was fine. I was like, whatever.
I knew he was going to die, and I still get a little.
I didn't. I was like, oh, he's dead.
25 actor ferrets.
Oh.
Yep.
We go through a dozen of them a week.
No, I'm just like, how many ferrets died in the making of this movie?
I know.
And I keep thinking, like, back in the day, nope, they did not care. And it's sad.
There's a couple of things in this movie that you would just not get in them. They would not allow.
No.
Certainly
no.
You would never be allowed to submerge a ferret in water.
Not like they were doing. No,
or
definitely not.
Paint a tiger. You can't give it. I mean, even if it's like non-toxic, you can't give an endangered tiger a dye job. You just can't do that.
I think there was 4 or 5 tigers too.
There's 5 tigers. Yeah, There's 5 tigers, and the main tiger. I can't remember what the main tiger's name. I think it was like Kipling or something. Was the main tiger?
Yeah, Kipling. Yeah.
So I'm thinking that was really cute.
I hate to break it to you.
They would not have had. They would. Sorry.
Oh no! I hate to break it to you guys, but like they dyed the tiger with lady's hair dye.
Clairol.
Yeah, hair dye.
Yeah, Clairol.
And that tiger died shortly after the shoot.
Did it?
Yeah.
That sucks.
So anyway.
What the hell?
Yeah.
It's like Barbarian and the Geisha all over again.
So
you guys know about that?
No, did somebody die of lead paint?
There's this John Wayne movie in the 60s, 50s, and it was like really near Los Alamos Proving Grounds, and
yeah, okay.
half the cast was Who's Barbarian? It's the one where John Wayne plays Genghis Khan, if you can imagine.
Oh wow, yeah, I remember that.
They'll get radiation poisoning. Yeah.
And then he ended up with cancer. There was a lot of smoking going too.
Yeah.
So.
As you do.
So they got they got cancer from being radiated?
Being on the set and being radiated. I think there was like a nuclear weapons test.
Yeah.
And in like an adjacent missile range or something. And it just kicked up into the sand or something. And and then like within 5 years, like some large percentage of the crew had cancer.
Yeah. Yeah. You get radiation poisoning and it can lead to cancer. And
especially breathing it.
It takes like hundreds of years for that stuff to go away from a land site. And
and it gets kicked all up into the dust. Every little grain or particle of dust. So that's what the tiger. I did not know the tiger died. That
neither did I.
Terrible.
I was trying to find that because I saw some references to it, but I was just like, I can't keep looking for the app for this because I'll just depress myself.
I'm sorry.
But so that's all right. So you found a pretty good source that it did die?
I don't know how good it is, but I did read that on the internets.
Yeah. I'm not sure. But they did use Lady Clairol hair dye, and it's a lot.
If anyone knows, please tell us. Tell us on Facebook or or just yell.
Tell us a little.
Just yell.
Right.
It is kind of my fault.
Send that to our PO box.
Yeah.
Also, I like that basically the hair dye wouldn't stick to like the front of the tiger's face because he was drinking water and stuff. And they just like fuck it, like.
And the bottom parts too.
Who cares? We're shooting it
like
anyway.
The belly of the tiger, and I'm just like, oh, okay, whatever.
And the weird thing is, the animal photography is sort of the strong point of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Like the action is subpar, but all the stuff with the animals and the way the characters are built, and John Amos, like. How about John Amos bringing the same level of intensity to this little movie as he did to Roots?
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, he is just 100%.
Fantastic actor.
Yes, Seth.
Yeah.
I need to be him for Halloween.
Ooh.
Like I need to cosplay his outfit, and I love that when they saw each other, the Beastmaster and him saw each other in their costumes. They just both busted out laughing. So. Like, it's just hilarious that they just were like, what the fuck,
He's got to be the biggest star in the movie.
Yeah, right? Just like, people got to get paid, right?
That's it. But look, again, it is not these people's fault that Conan the Barbarian happened earlier that year.
No.
And it's probably a good thing that the director of this did not do Conan the Barbarian and that it was John Milius because, that insane man is perfect for a film like Conan. So, if you guys know anything about it, he also did Red Dawn.
Yeah.
And what's that movie with Candice Bergen and Sean Connery? The Wind and the Lion. Yeah.
Hey, well, Don Coscarelli did Phantasm before he did this.
Nice.
Good for him.
That's an amazing movie.
Do you guys really think this is the highest quality film?
No.
I'm even calling it a film, for God's sakes. The highest quality movie.
Like, it's a film, and I think that it's what you would expect from an 80s sword and sorcery film. I mean, there were better, there were worse. I just think some people got it better than others, but I thought, hey, I would have seen this in the theater. If I was, I can't be hard on this movie because of number one, I'm looking at it through my adult eyes. And my adolescent eyes were just like, oh my God, this is so cool. He talks to animals. Yes, I want to be the Beastmaster and trying to talk to my cat and shit. So it's like, I understand.
So you guys have a nostalgia
boner for it. Yes.
Nostalgia boner.
Yeah. Yes.
And
I can tell Shecky's feeling a little excited.
I was. Are you kidding? All that skin?
Oh man, this was so good. I have a mathematical calculation on Beast. Here's how I sum this up. Okay. It's half the budget of Conan the Barbarian. But it's not. But it's way better than half as good. than Conan. You know what I mean? It's not like Conan the Barbarian is not twice as good as this movie.
No, I would agree.
Dollar for dollar, this movie's really good. For $10 million, it's not bad.
Yeah,
it's not.
It's really enjoyable. And can I tell you guys this? I didn't see this as a kid or teenager.
Neither did I.
So coming at it, Klingon, you can chime in here. Like coming at it as an adult, I don't have that connection to it, but I still loved and I liked the action because it was like there was something always happening. It moves.
It does move. It's well written.
Yeah, it's a 2-hour movie.
It has 2 endings.
It really does. It's kind of interesting. It's got all kinds of butts in it. It's got black butt. It's got white butt. It's got boy butt. It's got all kinds of stuff in it. So it's just like cool.
But there's a 4K restoration, Blu-ray restoration that just is coming out now, and
not surprised.
And there's like a deleted sex scene apparently on there.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I read about that.
But if you could see this in 4K, I mean, just think you could see like.
Let me guess, it's Rip Torn doing a foursome with those witches.
No, it's Kyrian. It's Kyrian. What's his name?
Yeah, you've ruined it.
Of course.
Sorry.
And of course, it's super cold out, supposedly, too.
Yeah, and they had to cover her up like immediately after the sex scene. So it's like,
the water that they were in, that she was in for that scene when she was introduced, was supposedly super cold too, and they had to truck it in to make a waterfall.
Oh my god!
Yeah, they were looking a little.
My lord.
Those girls were looking a little stiff, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
During that.
Yeah, they were not happy. You could look at her, and like when she gets in the water to like swim across, and you could see her jump in the water, and then
oh man,
that
like
totally
super
been me.
Unhappy.
Totally me. I'd have been like, oh my god, what are you doing?
Do you guys think that this movie warrants a 4K Blu-ray restoration?
Of course.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So you can,
if for no other reason, because I really want to know. There's like one scene with the Beastmaster and Kiri, and they're like, it's like a 2-shot, okay, and like it keeps going back and forth, and like Kiri is really clear and in focus, and then it'll cut back over to Mark Singer, and it looks like he's got that. Like back in the 40s, they would put that filter over it when the big starlet
Vaseline
in her love scene,
yeah.
and she's saying her romantic lines, and that would be sort of the Vaseline effect. But it would be on Mark Singer, and then it would cut back over to the Playmate, and then it would cut back over to Mark Singer. And I guess I guess I got to admit, he is probably the hottest person in the movie. So I mean, what are you going to do? So
no, I think Rip Torn.
Hey, we all have our favorites.
Younger Rip Torn, like before the teeth. Does his teeth get just worse?
Yeah, his teeth get all busted open. I'm like, oh.
This has been really amazing. I mean, I feel like we really got into the Beastmaster. We just got up in there like a ferret.
Yeah, and there's still a lot of questions about the animal welfare of the movie.
Oh yeah,
they drugged that dog to make it seem dead. It was alive. You could tell it's alive, but
I had to give Klingon
its
trigger
tongue was
warning.
just hanging way out.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, that dog was high as fuck.
It was completely limp. Its tongue was hanging way out, and I was
like, this dog is a great actor.
I thought it was a dog. I thought they had just come up with a fake dog.
Totally.
So did I at first,
but it looked real. So
yeah, there's things that just don't make sense, and we go with it. Like when the Marauders come and like light his village on fire. Do you notice like the grass hut explodes?
Yeah.
What's in there that's explosive? What's in a grass hut that explodes?
Okay. I had no idea, like, until she said something. Because remember, I'm watching this and I'm texting her all the craziness that I'm watching and shit. And then she's like, the exploding huts. And I'm thinking, huh? And then like I watch and I'm like, oh my God, like, why are they exploding? Like, did they invent kerosene or something? Yeah,
and then they're like on stilts.
Yeah,
it's like so you have these exploding huts that are way up high. So your hut catches on fire, you're fucked.
Yeah, and Paul's all like, "Well, that doesn't look safe," and I'm like, "No, who are these people? The Ediadites or whatever they're called?"
They're up on stilts because in case you get attacked by obviously a circus bear.
Right.
You guys notice that the bear is just obviously a circus bear.
Yeah, and that bear straight up attacked somebody when it first.
Yeah,
I don't think that bear was. Oh, okay. So here's another tick on this. I don't think that bear looks very healthy.
It does not. It looks
I've
like
never seen a brown
old
bear that big that was that skinny
Hmm.
before.
It's a Russian bear, and then it attacked the handler pretty much right out of the gate,
Wow.
and so the people are running to their cars and stuff like that, and they've got the bear back in line, and then they're sent the handler off to be patched up by the medic, and then they're like with Mark, it's just like, okay, we're gonna shoot the scene now. It's like, what?
Well, thank you for bringing this to us.
Oh yeah, it's been a pleasure coming on today. I've been following you guys in your filthy ways for some time now on Facebook. And
Thank you.
I've done a lot of podcasts with a lot of people over the years, but I ain't never gotten a bathtub with any of them. So I think you guys are some of the bravest broadcasters in the world, and I'm glad to be on your show.
The water's always warm, so always feel.
Yeah, you know why? Because Shecky's in there.
Hey,
I don't think there was water in that tub.
No, there wasn't.
I think we threw a bunch of pillows in there though, so that we could put our knees on them and sit up and stuff like that. The foam was shaving cream.
You're ruining the mystique here.
Oh, I'm sorry. We were soaking in that bath like tea bags.
That's it. Well, I mean, Shecky definitely had some tea bags in there, but I don't know about y'all. So.
Well, we do promise a free bath with every guest appearance. So.
I want lavender.
Okay.
For my bubble. So
if you want more Raymond Wiley, read his book on the Georgia Guidestones. Out There Radio is still available, right?
Yeah, it's on the iTunes Store.
Yeah.
And then you can check out The Shadow of Ideas if you're into politics and history. That's on the iTunes Store and on Spotify. And then, of course, you got to check out me and Odessa Lil talking about the 90s and other retro things on Retrophilia.
Yeah. If you're picking up what we're throwing down here, please subscribe and leave a review. And we might even read your review on the show. Anonymously, of course. Tell some friends about us. Play it for your mom. Etch it into the holy tablets that you were given for safekeeping. Let's get us out there.
Just do it.
Do it, man. Okay, and we're on Facebook, Speakeasily Show, and we also have the club you could join, Special People's Group. And stay trashy, everybody. You've certainly been an audience. Good night.
It was foretold by witches. It was conceived through sorcery. And it was to be destroyed by all that is evil. But the courage of one mortal saved it. And so, into an age of darkness, in a time of mysticism, sacrifice, and plunder, there came the only light, the Beastmaster. Born with the strength of a black tiger, the courage of an eagle, the power that made him more than any hero. More than any lover. He was lord and master over all beasts. He was the Beastmaster. Behold the wonder, the horror, the fantasy, the challenge of the one warrior they called the Beastmaster. Mark Singer is Dar, Tanya Roberts is Carrie, Rip Torn is Mayak, John Amos is Seth. Together they take us on a fascinating journey back into unexplored times. Conquer your fears. Face the unknown. And discover the incredible link between man, animal, and all that is phantasmagorical. In the world of Dungeons, Dragons, and Dar. The Beastmaster. The epic adventure of a new kind of hero.